So resilience is a very important concept that we need to spend time to understand. Okay. Now you look at all of human history. We have shaped over generations and generations and tons of centuries of history, and in that we have seen natural calamities, we've seen wars, we've seen movements because water dried out someplace, weather changed, all of that. So human beings as a species, and just like any other animal or plant species, has some capability or capacity to be resilient. But are we born with resilience? Now, that's where we need to understand what the actual construct of resilience is. So, to a great degree, resilience has got an element of it where things like faith, things like hope, things like your spiritual practices matter a lot. And that's where the whole concept of spiritual intelligence comes in. But resilience also has to do with the kind of emotions that we have. What do we do with our emotions? How do we understand emotions? And that's where emotional intelligence comes into play in resilience. But then it's also about the cognitive intelligence that we have. How do we think? What do we label things? How do we process things and work with that aspect of things, right? And that's where your cognitive intelligence sort of comes in. And then comes the aspect of your support system, support mechanisms, who's around you, who can help you, who can give you suggestion, your guides, mentors, gurus, family, friends, all of that. And then comes the element of your own preparation. How ready are you? So let's say, we've all heard of stories of war-torn areas or natural calamities or things, and there are children who become orphaned. Now, do you think that child had resilience? May not be. But, if you see the story of some of these people who have come up through, war-prone areas or famines or whose parents died of some accident or natural calamities, they have a slightly different characteristic as compared to some of the other children who may have had a lot more of endowed and, blessed, early life. Or maybe even cushioned. Let me not use the word blessed. Everybody is blessed in that sense. If our organs are working, if our body is working, we are all blessed. So there are no bad days. There are only wonderful days. But let's say there was a more cushioned child versus the child who had the parents not being there in their life. So you'll see slightly different characteristics, and that's where you can understand. Sometimes hardships also teach us. So that brings me to an important theme, and this is to understand that in our life, in our teen to adult life, most of us will experience some 15 to 20 challenges. Some of these could be life situations, change of place, change of job, the subjects that we're studying, the qualifications that we have, financial issues, relationship losses or relationship issues or things like these. Each of those situations is an opportunity for us to learn. And that's a core of what resilience essentially is. It's an ability that we have to develop in our life. We may not be born with it. We are born with the endowments which will allow us to build resilience, our brain, our body, our mind, our ability to control our emotions. All of those are there in every human being. But do we learn to do it? We may not. Which is where sometimes losses, negative situations in life, what we term as negative situations, they may necessarily not be negative, but negative situations in life, etc., are very important for us to learn the art of resilience. So fundamentally, resilience is what? Facing situations, holding your emotions through, thinking through, working through the solution, and getting to a point where whatever we termed as the problem is no more there, right? So that's the basic way that we need to understand resilience. But here are a few things for us to understand. The foundation of resilience is going to come from two things. One is your readiness. So if you have faced challenges, and if you have overcome those challenges, and if you have learned to overcome those challenges in a proper way, under proper guidance, and you have sort of memorized the formula, then the basics of resilience are there for you. The second thing, which is your spiritual intelligence, your own grounding on God, faith, mantras, chanting, prayers, dhyana, sadhana, yoga, your grounding in Upanishads, Vedas, or Bhagavad Gita, or whatever religious text you read, or whatever faith you are coming from. You're grounding in that faith. You're grounding in those traditions. That spiritual intelligence is going to really, really hold on the hope, the faith that you need in difficult times, or what we call difficult times. And for all you know, like, I've been pointing out that there are no bad days, or there are no bad times, or there are no bad situations. It's just another set of things which our mind is labeled. Maybe the first thing that spiritual intelligence will teach us is not to label those things as bad or negative. And that reframing itself gives us a lot of capability. But going back, our readiness towards situations of life, which comes by facing challenges. And the second is our spiritual intelligence, which comes from our faith and hope on God, prayers, chanting, meditation, mindfulness, all of these things. That's going to be the foundation of how we face life and face situations in life. So with that foundation, what else do you need to know? Emotional intelligence. So understanding emotions. What kind of emotions do you normally carry? What kind of emotions come up when you are under the so-called problem or the difficult situation, or when you're under stress? How do you manage that? Anger management, grief management. These are some things that everybody should learn. And there are other emotions like, some of us are very egoistic, egocentrical, or some of us have a lot of jealousy towards others, judgments, criticisms. So you need to know how to manage these things. And that part of emotional intelligence is also going to help you a lot when the so-called difficult situations or challenges of life present themselves. If you are emotionally grounded, highly likely your mind will work very well. So the brain and the mechanism of the brain, where the primitive brain, or the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, the amygdala, all of those parts which create secretion of chemicals that induce the fight or flight or fear and some of these things, all of those will work much better if your emotions are under control, or if you have emotional intelligence. And also, if you can choose the right words, the right labels, the right thinking process of doing things. So that combination of emotional intelligence along with your skills of life, whatever your trade is, whatever your ability to deal with relationships is, whatever your ability to deal with problems is, navigating and influencing others is, or negotiations is, when you combine that cognitive ability with emotional intelligence, will give you the real life skills to do what you need to do. Later on in life, when you're an adult, you're earning for yourself, you're supporting your family, or you're part of a family, your trade skills or what you can do in life really does matter for your resilience, because you know that you can bounce back. You have the resources to bounce back. And from that point, what will also help you is your own support system, people, your savings, your mentors, your gurus. They will have a lot of impact. So that's the other thing that you need to learn to cultivate. Cultivate good relationships. About 5 to 10 good relationships need to be there. Now, these could be with friends, these could be with a guru, a mentor, a coach, whoever it is. Have good, solid relationships. Now, you may not be able to rely on a coach or a mentor as much as you will be able to do on a family or friends. So invest time there. In today's life, a lot of people are spending so much of time at the workplace and chasing careers and dreams that they've forgotten what those good, solid relationships are. In fact, many people are doing things in life at the cost of their family and social connections. And then suddenly, when things like the COVID strikes or job losses happen, or companies shut down, or economic crisis happens, or an illness strikes, they don't know what to do. Right? Also, think about some very simple things like, you may be in a job, or somebody must be taking care of your medical insurance, etc. But have you saved up money? Have you put an insurance down for yourself? Have you taken care of some of the liabilities that you have in such a way that when a turning point of life comes and you are under pressure, this situation also doesn't put pressure on you? Ask, how much are you over leveraging? What kind of debts are you in? How many loans, how many credit cards are you taking? So these are also very important questions to answer so that you can have the right kind of resilience in life, right? So that concept of resilience has to be understood with the fact that each one of us can be resilient. Our evolution, our genetics has given us that capability and the capacity. The hardware is there, but the software needs to be put in. Where is the software going to come from? Definitely the exposure to life. So as you gain more and more exposure to life and you deal with challenges, it will come, but also will come from your spiritual intelligence. But a combination of dealing with life and your spiritual intelligence should give you emotional intelligence and a lot more of those cognitive abilities, your trade skills, etc. And finally, the support system needs to be there. That's how you build a very good capability to be resilient towards life.